For years, SEO had a clear target: rank the page, earn the click, and let the user decide what to read next. That one path shaped almost everything. Keyword research, content briefs, comparison pages, internal links, metadata, reporting, and even how teams measured success were built around the same basic idea. A person searched, Google showed results, the user clicked, then the website had a chance to explain, persuade, or convert. Google AI mode changes that path. Now, a user may not stop at one short keyword. They can ask a longer question, add context, compare options, ask follow-ups, and move through a topic inside an AI-assisted search experience before they ever visit a website. That creates a serious question for creators, SEO professionals, marketers, bloggers, freelancers, and online businesses. If Google search becomes more conversational, more answer-first, and more AI-assisted, what happens to the SEO workflow built around keywords, rankings, and clicks? This does not mean SEO is dead. It does not mean websites no longer matter. And it does not mean every search will turn into an AI-generated answer. But it does mean SEO has to mature. The old question was, can this page rank for this query? The new question is more demanding. Can this content be useful enough, clear enough, technically accessible enough, and trustworthy enough to support an AI-assisted answer? That is the shift worth paying attention to. Not panic, not hype, just a practical look at SEO after Google AI mode and how the workflow may need to change. This matters now because Google is not just adding AI as a small side feature. It is changing how people can interact with search. AI overviews already give users AI-generated snapshots for some searches, with links for deeper exploration. AI mode goes further by making search feel more like a guided research process. Instead of typing a query, scanning a results page, and opening several tabs, the user can ask a complex question, get an AI-powered response, and continue with follow-up questions. That changes the shape of the search journey. A traditional search might start with something simple like best CRM for freelancers. An AI mode-style search can begin with something much more specific. I'm a freelancer who gets leads from email and LinkedIn. I need a simple CRM that works with automation tools and is not too complicated. What should I compare? That is not just a keyword. It is a workflow problem. The user is not only looking for a list of pages. They want help making a decision. They want comparison criteria. They want context. They want an answer that understands the situation. For SEO professionals, that changes the research process. You are no longer only thinking about one exact keyword. You also need to think about the related questions, follow-up paths, subtopics, comparisons, and decision points around that keyword. For creators, that changes content planning. A video or article cannot only repeat what every other page says. It needs to answer the real question behind the search. For marketers and businesses, that changes visibility. A brand might appear as a traditional search result, a supporting link, a cited source, or a comparison reference. Or it might not appear at all. For freelancers and automation builders, this creates a new kind of workflow service. Businesses will need help auditing content, improving page clarity, mapping customer questions, strengthening topical coverage, and building AI-assisted research systems that still keep human review in the loop. But this needs to stay grounded. This is not a magic new SEO trick. Google's guidance around AI features does not say creators need a secret tag, a special file, or a completely separate SEO system just to appear in AI experiences. The practical message is much more familiar. Create helpful, reliable, people-first content, make sure Google can access and understand it, and avoid trying to manipulate the system with low-quality shortcuts. So the real issue is not whether SEO disappears. The real issue is whether your SEO workflow is still built only for the old search behavior. To understand what is changing, start with what Google AI mode actually is. At a simple level, Google AI mode is an AI-powered search experience designed to help users explore more complex questions. Traditional Google search helps users find pages. AI mode tries to help users explore a question, reason through connected parts of it, and continue the search through follow-ups. That difference matters. Classic search is link first. It gives users a set of possible destinations. AI mode is more answer first. It tries to help build a response from available information while still connecting users to the web. That changes what content is being asked to do. In the older SEO model, your article, video, landing page, or comparison post mainly competed for the click. The user saw your title, your snippet, maybe your brand, and decided whether your page looked worth opening. In an AI-assisted search model, your content may play a different role. It may become a supporting source. It may help shape part of an answer. It may appear as a link. It may be summarized, or it may not be used at all. That is why people are now talking about AI SEO, generative engine optimization, answer engine optimization, and AI search visibility. Some of these terms are useful. Some are probably overhyped, and some are just old SEO ideas with new packaging. But the underlying shift is real enough to take seriously. SEO is becoming less about simply matching a keyword and more about supporting the full user problem behind the query. For beginners, the simplest way to understand it is this. Traditional search asks, which pages might answer this query? AI-assisted search asks, what answer can be built from the available information, and which sources help support it? For advanced viewers, the deeper point is that Google AI mode changes the unit of optimization. You are not only optimizing a page for a keyword, you are also trying to make your expertise, structure, examples, claims, and brand easier to understand inside a machine-assisted research workflow. That is why generic SEO content becomes weaker. A page that only repeats basic definitions may still be indexed. It may even rank in some cases. But if it offers no original examples, no experience, no clear structure, and no real decision support, it has less reason to stand out in a search experience where AI can already summarize basic information. A stronger page does more than answer the obvious question. It explains the context, it covers the subtopics, it gives examples, it helps the user make a decision. It shows why the source is worth trusting. So AI mode does not erase SEO, it raises the standard for useful SEO content. One of the most important ideas behind AI mode is that a single user question can become a broader research process. In a traditional workflow, an SEO professional might optimize one page around one target keyword and related terms. That still matters. Keywords still reveal language, intent, and demand. But AI mode may handle a query more expansively. It can break a question into related subtopics, explore supporting information, and return a more complete answer. That means the visible user query may not be the only thing that matters anymore. The user might ask one question. Behind that question, the system may look at several connected ideas. It may compare sources. It may retrieve supporting pages. It may build a response that connects multiple parts of the topic. So the SEO workflow needs to ask deeper questions. What is the user really trying to solve? What follow-up questions are likely? What comparisons do they need? What examples would help them trust the answer? What details would make the content useful beyond a generic summary? What content gaps might stop the page from being helpful in a broader AI-assisted search journey? This is where the workflow changes. The input is no longer just a keyword. It is often a natural language problem. The output is no longer only a ranking position. It may also be visibility inside an answer, a supporting link, a cited source, a brand mention, or a content pattern that influences the user's decision. That can speed up research for the user. But it also means publishers and creators have to think more carefully about how their content supports the full journey. For example, a page about AICO tools might be too shallow if it only lists tools and repeats the same summaries found everywhere else. A stronger page might explain when to use AI search, when to use traditional SEO tools, how to verify sources, how to avoid generic content, and how to structure an AI-assisted workflow for research, content planning, editing, and review. That is a different kind of content. It is not just keyword content, it is workflow content. And that is why human judgment still matters. AI mode can retrieve and summarize information, but AI responses can still make mistakes. They can miss nuance. They can over-compress a topic. They can make an answer sound more complete than it really is. So the workflow should not be, let AI do SEO. The better workflow is use AI to understand the search journey, then use human judgment to build better content. The first practical use case is keyword research becoming question research. The old process started with a keyword tool. You looked at search volume, difficulty, related keywords, and maybe the current search results. That still has value. But after AI mode, the smarter workflow is to map the bigger question behind the keyword. If the topic is SEO after Google AI mode, the real user questions are not just about that phrase. They may be asking, does SEO still matter? How does AI mode choose sources? What happens to clicks? What should I change in my content? What should I stop doing? How do I prepare without falling for hype? That is the content map. AI can help generate possible sub-questions. But the human still needs to verify which questions are real, which ones are supported by reliable sources, and which ones deserve content. The realistic benefit is better planning. Instead of building one thin article around one phrase, you build content around the full decision journey. The manual check is making sure your topic map is not just an AI-generated list of guesses. The second use case is content auditing. The old SEO audit often focused on rankings, metadata, internal links, technical issues, and content gaps. Those still matter. But now the audit should also ask whether the content is clear enough to be useful in an answer-first search experience. Does the page answer the main question directly? Does it explain the problem in simple language? Does it include original examples or first-hand insight? Is the important content available in text, not hidden only in images or design elements? Is the page crawlable and indexable? Does the structure help both humans and systems understand what the page is about? This does not require a secret AI tag. It requires useful content and technical accessibility. The third use case is building non-commodity content. A lot of old SEO content was built by taking a keyword, rewriting what already ranked, adding a few headings, and publishing another version of the same answer. That workflow becomes weaker when AI can summarize common information quickly. If your content is only a generic summary of what everyone else already said, it has less reason to be chosen, trusted, shared, or remembered. A stronger workflow focuses on original examples, real testing, specific comparisons, expert judgment, clear explanations, and useful frameworks. For creators and bloggers, mass-producing generic AI articles is not a strong long-term strategy. The realistic benefit of this shift is better content quality. The manual check is making sure the content has actual value beyond being a polished AI draft. The fourth use case is AI search visibility auditing. A freelancer, consultant, or SEO team can test important questions in a niche and study which kinds of sources appear. They can look at whether their brand appears, whether competitors appear, what kinds of pages are referenced, and where their own site lacks clear answers. But this has to be handled carefully. AI responses can vary. Different AI search experiences may show different links, summaries, or source patterns. Results may change over time, so the goal is not to guarantee visibility. The goal is to understand patterns, improve weak pages, and build stronger content around real user decisions. The fifth use case is content workflow automation. An SEO team could use AI to collect questions, summarize sources, cluster topics, draft briefs, and flag outdated sections. That can make the workflow faster. But automation should not remove review. I can confidently summarize wrong information. It can miss nuance. It can create generic output. It can turn weak inputs into polished but shallow content. The best workflow is AI-assisted, not AI-abandoned. The AI can collect, organize, and draft. The human verifies, edits, adds experience, and decides what should actually be published. Compared with traditional SEO after Google AI mode is less about exact match thinking and more about problem coverage. The old workflow asked, what keyword do I want to rank for? The new workflow asks, what full problem does this user want solved? And can my content support that answer? That does not mean keywords are irrelevant. Keywords still help you understand demand and language. But keywords are no longer enough by themselves. Compared with classic Google search, AI mode is more conversational and exploratory. Classic search is strong when users want direct links, many options, local results, shopping paths, or their own manual comparison. AI mode may be useful when users have a complex question, need reasoning across subtopics, or want to continue with follow-up questions. Compared with ChatGPT or Perplexity, Google AI mode has one major difference. It is connected to Google Search itself. That means SEO professionals cannot treat it as just another chatbot. It is part of the broader search ecosystem, and its impact has to be understood through both AI behavior and traditional search fundamentals. Compared with manual research, AI mode may be faster at generating a starting point. It may break a topic into subtopics, retrieve links, and summarize possible answers. But a skilled human is still better at deciding which claims are accurate, which examples are useful, and which angle is worth building into content. Compared with older content workflows, AI mode makes generic content less defensible. If a page only summarizes what everyone else has already said, it may not add much value in a search experience where AI can already summarize. But if a page has unique experience, clear explanations, useful media, specific examples, and trustworthy structure, it has a stronger reason to exist. Most people miss this. SEO after AI mode is not about abandoning SEO. It is about removing lazy SEO. The basics still matter. Crawlability still matters. Indexing still matters. Helpful content still matters. Internal linking still matters. Clear structure still matters. What changes is the workflow around those basics. Instead of using SEO to chase the algorithm, use SEO to make content easier to find, easier to understand, and more useful inside a broader AI-assisted search journey. Before anyone rushes to sell AI mode SEO hacks, there is one major limitation. Nobody can force Google AI mode to cite, summarize, or recommend a specific page. That should make creators and SEOs careful. There will be a lot of hype around AEO, GEO, AI SEO, and AI search optimization. Some of it may be useful. Some of it may simply be old SEO advice with new branding, and some of it may be misleading. If someone promises a simple trick to appear inside AI mode, be careful. Another limitation is measurement. SEO teams may need to combine Search Console, analytics, conversion data, and manual observation to understand what is really happening. A single metric may not explain the full impact of AI-assisted search. There is also the risk of outdated data. AI search experiences can summarize current information, but search features, models, product access, and platform behavior can change. Any SEO workflow based on AI mode needs regular review. There is also the risk of generic content. If everyone uses AI to produce similar pages around every possible question, the web becomes more repetitive. And when the web becomes more repetitive, the content becomes less useful for both people and AI systems. There is also a privacy and workflow risk. If teams use AI tools to analyze private business data, internal content plans, customer information, or unpublished strategy, they need to be careful about what they upload and where that data goes. And finally, there is the risk of over-automation. AI can help you research. AI can help you build briefs. AI can help you find gaps. But if you remove human judgment, you may publish faster while becoming less useful. That is not a better workflow. That is just a faster way to create weak content. The biggest lesson is simple. SEO after Google AI mode is still SEO, but the workflow is changing. Technical accessibility still matters. Useful content still matters. Clear structure still matters. People-first value still matters. But AI mode changes how users explore questions, how complex searches can turn into subtopics, and how supporting links may appear inside AI-assisted answers. So creators, marketers, freelancers, SEO professionals, automation builders, and online business owners should not panic. They should adapt. Stop thinking only in keywords. Start thinking in questions, workflows, and decisions. Stop making generic summaries. Build content with original examples, clear explanations, experience, and practical value. Stop looking for special AI hacks. Make sure your pages are crawlable, indexable, useful, and easy to understand. Stop treating AI as the whole workflow. Use AI to speed up research, but keep human review in the loop. A practical action is simple. Choose one important page or content idea and audit it for AI mode readiness. Ask whether it answers the real question behind the keyword. Ask whether it covers the important subtopics. Ask whether it offers unique value beyond generic information. Ask whether the page is technically accessible. Ask whether the content is clear enough for a person and a system to understand. If the answer is weak, improve the content before chasing the next SEO trend. Because the future of SEO may not only be about being found in a list. It may be about being useful enough to support the answer.